In classic Wrath of the Lich King, there's so many mounts to choose from, and most people want to get the rare ones like the one from Utgard Pinnacle. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you're a reasonably well-geared protection paladin, why go in with a group and risk losing it when you can just go in and do it on your own? Now, at this moment in time, while soloing Utgard Pinnacle for the mount each day, I've got pretty good gear, I've got to be honest, mostly 25 man, and obviously the other bits thrown in are either emblems of valor gear or decent drops from heroic dungeons. I use Essence of Gossamer only for one particular trash pack, and when I say trash pack, it's actually all of the mobs on the way to actually, using the harpoons to get the boss down. Because there's so many, Essence of Gossamer's pretty solid. Ordinarily, I'm actually using my block trinket, level 70 Corrin trinket, just for more damage, more mitigation. I really like block value. Spec-wise, honestly, just a pretty standard PvE tanking build, so you can do this with whatever protection spec you've got. Gear definitely plays the most important part, so if you're raiding as a protection paladin and you've got decent gear, you'll absolutely be able to solo this with ease. And I'm going to talk you through all of the difficult trash mobs, which, I've got to be honest, you use Seal of Command and you just cleave through them like nothing, but there are a couple of mobs that you want to look out for. Just a couple of tips throughout the run. So first of all, you don't need to worry about any bosses other than the boss that drops the mount. So on the first trash pack, the only thing to worry about really is the Dragon Flayer Seer. So you want to be using all of your interrupts on this, not only to interrupt the healing wave, but also interrupt as many lightning bolts as you can as well, because it does a lot of damage. As for the other mobs here, the Fanatics do enrage, so you want to try and focus those as well. But by the time you get the Seer down, the other mobs are practically dead anyway, because you'll be using Seal of Command. It's absolutely worthwhile keeping Sacred Shield up on packs of 4. I don't tend to bother single target on the Abominations or if there's 3 mobs, but I probably should. But I'm quite lazy. When it comes to the Abominations, I just try to take one at a time. You absolutely could pull them into the packs, but I prefer to be a little bit safe and err on the side of caution. So I single target the Abominations down before I then pull the next packs. All the way down this hallway is pretty simple because it just follows the same thing. Nuke the Seer down and then kill the other ads that are with it. Kill an Abomination, pull the next pack. If there's no Seer, just nuke down the Fanatics first. Remember to make sure that you're using cooldowns whenever they're ready, so there's no reason to not use Divine Protection on a couple of packs in here on your way to the boss. Also, no reason not to be using Wings on cooldown just to get these down that little bit quicker. But once you've killed the second Abomination, you've got the final pack. There will be 4 mobs here, so if there's a Seer or if there's 2 Seers or whatever there is, just make sure you're interrupting the heals. I must admit, Blood Elf Paladins get this a little bit easier because Arcane Torrent with the AoE silence is pretty OP for any time you're soloing things, actually. But once you've cleared the first hallway, you're just going to run down the stairs, completely ignore the first boss because there's no need to kill it at all, and then you're greeted by another Abomination. Take this down on its own, again, just using your single target seal and just kill it. It's not hard. And then you're going to move on to the next trash pack. Now, on this particular pack, there is a patrol that goes up and down the stairs, so 2 wolves and a flesh hunter. Make sure they're just walking up the stairs before you pull the trash pack that's at the bottom. This is just to ensure that you time it right and you're not going to end up with those joining the fight halfway through as well, because that might be a little bit too much. If you're geared to the teeth and you've got no problems with 2 packs, obviously don't worry about it, just pull it all. I, however, as I say, err on the side of caution, so I kill this trash pack first, and then I pick the patrol up on the way up the stairs. Once you've killed the patrol on the stairs, then you've got 1 more trash pack at the top of the stairs to clear before you get to the second boss room. Again, you should have no problem with these, and it's worth noting that they start to be undead now, so there will be mobs that you can use Holy Wrath on, so absolutely make sure that you're using it. Even the mobs at the bottom of the stairs were undead, by the way. But basically, once you get to this sort of section of the dungeon, make sure you're using Holy Wrath, either to buy yourself a little bit of time if you're starting to get chunked, or just use it for raw damage. Once these are down, you're going to move into the next room. You'll have another pack of mobs that you need to kill in the second boss room. So again, nothing here really that you need to worry about. Just cleave them down and move on to the final destination. For how much it costs, I do actually pop a flask here just to get them down a little bit quicker, and I do also just use a 40 strength food. You could get away without using it, but why not? If you're engineering, this is made a lot easier because you can just rocket boost and get down to the end as quick as possible. Be sure to Hand of Freedom yourself because the harpooners will actually put a net on you, and you want to drag them all into the little room to the left. This way, once you get them all stacked up and start AoEing them down, you haven't got to worry about the breath, and all of the ranged mobs will obviously move into your Consecrate. Now, this is the most difficult part of the run, and this is where you've got to be ready to use cooldowns, use a health potion if you need to, bubble and heal like you'll see me do now. As soon as I get low enough, I don't want my Argent Defender to proc yet, so I'll bubble, get big heals on, nearly get topped off, and then start again. On this second round of damage, they will all die. Again, make sure you're using Holy Wrath, because the vast majority of these are undead, and make sure you're using interrupts, whether it's with throwing your shield or using Arcane Torrent, or even a stun on the Witch Doctors. The Witch Doctors absolutely melt, so if you can pick them off amongst a massive group of mobs, you absolutely should. You can see it's quite touch and go, so I'm not going to say this is the easiest thing in the world to do, but I've got absolute faith that you will all be able to do it. Once you've cleared the mobs up and you've got 3 harpoons, it's time to think about getting the boss, because you don't want to be stood here just mindlessly killing these, because they constantly spawn. So you probably will have to take a couple of mobs into the boss, but your primary focus will then be just cleaving those adds down with the boss. So grab yourself 3 harpoons, get over when you see that he's in range, and shoot it down. Now, quite honestly, it is smooth sailing from here. You just need to get rid of the existing adds. You don't want to get hit by the whirlwind, so when you see that coming in, make sure you run out. And when he does Poison Spear, you want to get rid of it instantly. You literally should be ready to dispel now, so as you see it being casted, you want to get rid of it before it even ticks. If you get rid of the Poison Spear, you get rid of all the adds, and you move out of his whirlwind, you'll absolutely do this with no issues whatsoever. I use Seal of Command while there's a couple of adds up, but then once I realised, a little bit later than I would have liked, that I was still using Seal of Command, I'll switch over to Corruption, and now you just want to single target him down. Again, if you're engineering, you can rocket boost away, get a couple of heals in while he's doing his whirlwind, but even without rocket boost, you still should have time to actually move away from his whirlwind to pop a heal or 2. And from here, it really is just a few minutes of slapping the boss in the face. I do use Lay on Hands towards the end. I didn't need to, but I just used it just mainly to get mana back so I could then pump a little bit harder just to speed it up. But ultimately, from this point on, as long as you dispel the poison and as long as you move out from Whirlwind, it should be a win. So why share the Drake with the rest of your group? Get in there as a prop paladin. Can you do it as a DK? I don't know. I've not got a DK to test it on, but you can definitely do it as a prop paladin. So if you're a prop paladin, don't take a group. Just go in and solo it. Why? It doesn't take that much longer. I'll be completely honest with you. It really don't. You know, in the time it takes you to clear up to this boss and ultimately solo it to try and get the mount, it's not that much slower than going with a group anyway. So good luck, Paladins. I expect to see you all flying around on your new mount when you get it. Be sure to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Let's get to 1k likes on this video. I don't know why I'm obsessed with getting 1k likes. I just like how it looks. Roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes. Everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name. And you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.